Thank you, Madam Speaker. This session of Parliament, Madam Speaker, I hope is reflective of diversity in representation and a true reflection of the broad-based government as we have it right now. I can see, Madam Speaker, that this afternoon we have Senator Kajwang, our former minority leader, Madzayo, sitting on the majority side. I have other senators sitting on this side. I had Senator Cherargei sitting on the side of the minority. It's a true reflection that we are one house, and in exercising our mandate under Article 96 of the Constitution, we will oversight government, and the role belongs both to the majority and the minority. Madam Speaker, I support the motion tabled for the House Business Committee and the composition of the committee, because it reflects a diversity of experience, a diversity that will go into leading this House into the next phase. May I, Madam Speaker, take the opportunity to repeat the wise words that have been shared in this House by the Senator, former Senator Kajwang, on the need to prioritize the constitutional amendment, or the proposed amendment that addresses Article 109 of the Constitution, Article 111, 113, and that speaks to the role of Senate in legislation. Madam Speaker, Senate cannot, in defining law or laws that touch on counties, exclude any law, because every law that emanates from the National Assembly touches on counties. And therefore, of necessity and legally, every law should be subjected to Senate. Every enactment from the National Assembly should pass through Senate. This afternoon, we saw a lot of action in the National Assembly, and that's what I call legislative diversity. I call it a bit of jostling here and there, minorities sitting in the seats of the majority, and vice versa, pursuant to a decision of the High Court, a judge bench decision. I believe that in terms of the standing orders, that decision is still subject to appeal, and the lawyers should take up their role in dealing with those issues. And I hope the National Assembly will settle the question of who is minority and who is majority. That is not a question, however, not for Senate, because we are not part of that litigation. Madam Speaker, let me also say that the House Business Committee has a role to exhaust the business of this House that was not concluded in the last session. And that is of importance, Madam Speaker, because we must focus on bills that touch on our counties. There are regulations that touch on the agricultural sector, the sugar sector especially, Madam Speaker. We have a new sugar board that has been created, and there are regulations that must be prioritized by the Committee on Delegated Legislation. The Committee on Agriculture has business with the rice bill that was commenced or initiated in the last Senate. We have a lot of oversight to undertake, Madam Speaker, on counties and on spending in counties. The Devolution Committee, Madam Speaker, must look at afresh issues concerning the management of counties, and especially the conflicts that we have seen between governors and deputy governors. We are not happy to always undertake impeachments. I think so, or I believe. But we don't mind handling impeachments of governors or deputy governors if they find themselves in this House. But we encourage governors and deputy governors to sort out their mess out there in the counties, so that we do not have questions that can be settled by governors in their counties find their way to this House. Madam Speaker, we are alive, Madam Speaker, to the fact that all the committees of this House, especially the committee where I served in the last Senate, the Committee on Public Investment and the Public Accounts Committee, dealing with questions of expenditure, looking at the reports of the Auditor General on how counties spend funds. Madam Speaker, in my own county, Kisumu County, we are happy to report that we have received funds, disbursements of over Kenya shillings 12 billion, and we hope that our Governor, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, and his team will spend these funds towards the projects that are budgeted for, and to ensure, Madam Speaker, that we empower our people and we focus on projects that will enhance the lives of youth, the lives of women, the lives of the ordinary person, border riders, ensure that our markets are working, ensure that our street lighting is well done in all the towns, not just Kisumu City, but also other towns like Kombewa, Katito, Miwani, Muhoroni, and to say, Madam Speaker, that a county must embrace development that touches every small person, every person out there. That we also ensure, Madam Speaker, that all sectors, including the agriculture sector, that touch on extension services, that all sectors, Madam Speaker, including health, that our people get what they need in health, so that the rollout of SHA, the Social Health Act, and SHIF work for our people, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I support this committee to the extent that it shall define the work of Senate. But Madam Speaker, lastly, let me say this, that it is important that we strengthen devolution. It is important that the CS Finance disburses funds in time. It is important, Madam Speaker, that our governors use the funds disbursed to the 47 counties in a manner that is befitting, in a manner that invites less audit queries. It is important, Madam Speaker, that our governors and those out there ensure that the problem of pending bills is sorted out, so that we do not have every time to come to Senate and have those service providers cry out to us every season that they are not paid. Madam Speaker, we must ensure that we prioritize those who delivered services and ensured that our counties worked, so that we do not have pending bills accumulate interest over time. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support.
Thank you, Professor.